Hola amigos, bien o no, saludos otra vez desde Medellín. ¿Y por qué el video de ayer está muy popular? Hoy tenemos poquito más con phrasal verbs, some more phrasal verbs today. So here we go. Yesterday's one was quite popular, so here we have another 5 examples of some quite commonly used phrasal verbs, and like we did yesterday, some sentences to help illustrate ways you might hear these or ways you could use them. Yeah. So let's have a go. Bring up. Bring up. So obviously, to bring is like to carry something. You know, please bring me that bag. It's like pass me something. Bring this thing to me. And obviously, up, as in like to elevate. Yeah. When we combine them together, though, we get some slightly different take on that. We use this when we're talking about, well, to raise something. So that's obvious because up, to bring it up. Often we use this when we're talking about children, as you raise children. And often in the sense if we're in a conversation with people, it's like we need to change topic to have something to talk about. I want to... because at least I want to raise this point, or I want to bring up this point to talk about in a slightly more vulgar sense. It's another way to express if you're feeling seasick. But anyway, let's give you some examples of this and to make this clearer. So when we're talking about raising children, we can say, she brought up her children well. We're talking about brought because we've gone into the past. But she brought up her children well. And she raised her children well, and they're nice children. Yeah. And when the case of like raising or bringing up a point of argument, or I think we say, I'd like to bring up the subject of expenses. I'd like to bring up the subject of expenses. Now notice, you could just put the word raise in there. I'd like to raise the subject. It's basically the same thing. Yeah. Our third point, after the roller coaster ride, I brought up my lunch. What this literally means is I felt very sick. Indeed. After the roller coaster ride, I brought up my lunch. Maybe you might not need to use that too often. The very common one we have is bringing up children. That's probably the most common way you can hear that. Or I'd like to bring up this particular topic in a conversation. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at another one. So, cut off. Okay, so to cut, fairly easy, and off as in opposite of on. When we use this one together, cut off, we're talking about to remove something, to intercept, to describe something that's isolated, and also, a very interesting one, to disinherit. Now, disinherit is quite an unusual word. If you inherit something, it's when somebody dies in your family and they leave you usually a sum of money or some property or some other gift of that type. So that would be if you inherit something. If you disinherit, it's the opposite. It's like a negative. So it's like not to inherit. Yeah. Let's give some examples of that. We cut off the branch from the tree. So literally, to cut it. We cut off the branch from the tree. The police car cut off the robber's escape. So that's more like to intercept. So the robbers try to escape. Police car comes in front of him. He can't escape. He's cut off his escape route. Yeah. Police car cut off the robber's escape. We talk about isolated. The flood cut off the village. The flood cut off the village. So this is like lots of rain, the water's risen, and the roads or the paths that go to the village, you can't cross anymore because they're covered in water or underwater. So basically the village is isolated. It's cut off. Literally, like it's been cut round and there it is. You can't get to it anymore. Yeah. When we talk about disinherit, we can say his uncle cut him off. His uncle cut him off. So literally he's been disinherited. He's not going to get any more money from his uncle. Yeah. And actually, think about it, there is another way we could use this term. So in this last phrase, I said his uncle cut him off. We could interpret this as he's been disinherited. You know, as his uncle was not going to leave him any more money, or any money or property when he dies. The other way we can mean this, to cut him off, is if we're describing a conversation between this man and his uncle, and they're talking together, and his uncle, let's say, interrupts him, you know, cuts him off, stop saying that, I've got something else to say. That's to cut him off. So while the other man's speaking, his uncle interrupts him, literally stops him speaking because he wants to say something else. That's another way of saying cut him off. But generally we use it to talk about disinheritance. Give up. Okay, so if I give you something, it's like a gift, and up, again, like I said, to elevate. But there's some different ways we look at this one. Give up is like to surrender. Also, technically it says renounce hope. That means like we don't hope, we've lost all our hope. It's, you know, only bad things are going to happen now. There's no hope for us. And in the last case of this one, if we deliver a wanted person, so someone like the police are looking for this person, if we give this person up, we basically tell the police where that person is, and then he's taken to justice. Let's give the example sentences for that one. So you could just say, oh, I give up. So that means I surrender. I can't do any more in this situation. Either I give up because I'm not going to fight anymore. I give up. I surrender. Or it could be you're trying to solve a really complicated problem, a difficult puzzle, something like that, and you can't do it. So, oh, I give up. I don't know how to do this. You know. As for renouncing hope, we can say something like, he was given up for dead. He was given up for dead. So people think now that they're not going to find him alive. He must have died. We can't find him. So he was given up for dead. There's no hope for him now. Yeah? And the last one, we're giving up a wanted person. The gang gave up their leader. The gang gave up their leader. In other words, they said to the police, look, here he is. He's our leader. You can arrest him. We don't want anything to do with him anymore. He's been given up. Make up. Okay, this is an interesting one. Make up. So obviously to make something is to like to construct something, to build something, and up again is like to raise something. Yeah. There are lots of ways we can use make up. Literally, we use that phrase to describe cosmetics. So cosmetics generally are described as make-up. To make up is also a way of us regaining friendship with somebody, to reconcile with them because we had an argument and now we're going to make up, we're going to be friends again. Make up is also another way of describing things that are put together to make a whole thing. So like kind of like ingredients or parts that constitute a bigger item. And also make-up can be a way of describing someone's physical appearance, literally the way you are made. Yeah? Now let's show you some sentences to make that one a bit clearer. So we could say like, the actor put on his makeup. The actor put on his makeup. Get ready for the stage. Oh yeah, this other one, make up your mind. Now notice make-up in this sense has nothing to do with cosmetics. It just means make a decision, decide, make up your mind. Have you made up your mind? Have you decided? And we talked about regaining friendship. Bob and I have made up. We've reconciled. Now we're friends again. We had an argument, but now we're friends again. Bob and I have made up. And we talk about things that make up a bigger part, like constituent parts or things we put together to make the sum of something. These items make up the total delivery. So these items make up the total delivery, things we've added together to make a whole. Physical appearance. he had a strong physical makeup. He had a strong physical makeup. It's literally the way he was constructed. He was strong. Physical makeup, yeah. But make up your mind is quite a common one as well. The last one we've got is turn down. So turn down can just be a description physically to turn something downwards. We often say in a book, if you turn over the corner of the book to mark the page, you've literally turned down the page. Or when you've made a bed, if you turn down the cover so you can get into it, you've turned down the bed. So that's like a physical movement. But in this sense, when we use it as a phrase, turn down, we usually mean to indicate some kind of level of rejection, or also it's to reduce the volume or the flow. We need to turn that down. It's like an instruction. Let's give you an example of that. Susan turned down Bob. So in this case, in many ways, it's like a rejection of a proposal, often of marriage or of a more intimate friendship. Susan turned down Bob. Sorry, Bob, no chance for Susan. Or we can look at it to like reduce the volume or the flow of something. So please turn down the radio. Please turn down the radio. Turn down the volume, please. Okay. So there we go. 5 new phrasal verbs, lots of different practice sentences, like the ones yesterday. I hope you find these ones useful. Déjame saber en los comentarios. An interesting collection of these. Cut off, make up, turn down, give up, bring up. We'll see how we go. If this one again proves popular, I'll do another one soon. But for now, at least, from Medellin, I wish you Feliz Noche and Cheerio for now.